YouTube? My name is Cheryce. Welcome to RyceTV. Glad that you're here. This is my Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 12, Last Refuge review. I'll be reviewing this episode scene by scene moments and not my usual OMG moments. But as always, just be careful of spoilers if you have not seen this episode. Now, the reason why I'm doing this scene by scene is because I want to be able to get this out to you in a more timely manner without, going into being a reaction channel. I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with reaction channels. It's just not my cup of tea. So, now for my review. First scene is someone being sentenced to death by Pilgrim from the Time Masters. But my question through this whole scene was, why do the Time Masters even remember this person while this person is dying or after this person evaporates? I mean, honestly, after this person evaporates, the Time Masters should be looking confused, looking back and forth at each other like, why the heck are we here? Right? So basically this scene is dedicated to show us what happens if young legends are killed by the Pilgrim. You get what I did there? Young legends, young justice. Well, anyway, the legends are off to save young legends. Now, you remember the end of last week's episode where Rory was about to be victim number 1. Well, Ray saves Rory just in time. And he says to young Rory, "Come with me if you want to live." Oh, how shameless Legends of Tomorrow is. And oh, how much of a goofball Ray is. Well, I guess it makes sense for him to say it since he is the one in the robotic suit. So thus, he would be the Terminator. So in this case, that would mean that Rory is John Connor and the Pilgrim is T-1000. So the Pilgrim is off to her next victim, being Sarah. Don't you just love when shows go back to the past selves of girl characters and they have bangs and they have braces? Yeah, me neither. It used to get on my nerves every time Charm did it. It's like, couldn't we go back in time and not have bangs and not have braces? I mean, if bangs and braces were all you needed in order to stay youthful, do you know how many women will have bangs and braces right now instead of wearing all this crap on their faces or even doing the whole Botox thing? That would make sense, right? But of course we kind of want to look sexy too, so I guess we wouldn't do the braces, but we will most likely do the bangs. Anyway, long story short, they get to Sarah in time. But now after saving Sarah, they have no idea where the Pilgrim is. But we're able to narrow down as to who she might go after next because both Rip and Kendra are safe. Rip is safe because he's a Time Master. Kendra's safe because she can reincarnate and there's no point in killing her. But what if the Pilgrim goes after baby Kendra in the first life? Well, that's not something that Legends of Tomorrow wants to answer right now. Moving on, Ray is almost killed while proposing to Kendra. And after he is saved, he continues to propose to her. She looks at the ring and I'm guessing that she said yes, but we'll talk about that later on in this video. What is more pressing is that Rip has decided to kidnap the baby legends. And the legends kidnap all the baby legends that can actually be affected. They even leave a note for the Pilgrim. Now, I know that letter was supposed to taunt the Pilgrim, possibly discourage the Pilgrim. But can you imagine how the nurses will feel once they find that letter? I feel so sorry for that hospital. Moving on, Rip takes young legends to his mom's house. Yeah, get off my case, Snart. You get to go to my mama's house, is what I would say if I were Rip at this point. I mean, Snart was really ripping on Rip about not knowing his past. And throughout the rest of this episode, we get to see his past. Yeah, take that. And we find out that Rip's real name is Michael. Turns out that the Time Masters are trained to be Time Masters from the time that they are young. Now, in the comic book, his name is never mentioned. There are only 2 people who know his name. So this actually could be canon. Moving on, Ray finds out that Kendra is having doubts about marrying him after overhearing a conversation between her and Sarah. And surprisingly, we don't hear one word about her being a barista. That is amazing. Moving on, Kendra finally tells Ray about older Kendra after he confronts her about what he overheard. Then he basically tells her, girl, you can either listen to her and be miserable, or you could be with me and be happy. And then he walks away like a G. But her decision will have to wait as the Pilgrim goes after the legend's loved ones. She has Jax's dad. Could this be how Jax's dad actually died? But at this new threat, Rip offers himself. I mean, his younger self. Meaning that if there is no him, then there is no team. Now, I'm not gonna brag and say that I called it, but I called it. So the Pilgrim and the Legends meet at a neutral meeting spot where they can exchange Jax's dad for young Rip. But before she can get young Rip, the Legends ambush the Pilgrim and a brawl begins. Cause it wouldn't be Legends of Tomorrow if it wasn't a brawl. But this one was freaking fun. All the Legends focus their strength onto the Pilgrim, but the Pilgrim can control time. But of course the question is, how long can she control time? Are they trying to override her control by ambushing her at the same time? Did anybody else think about Bayonetta witch time while watching this scene? This scene was sweet. And just when the Pilgrim thinks that she has the upper hand and she starts monologuing, young Rip stabs her. Apparently with her own knife, according to Rip explaining that he was once a pickpocket. And the Pilgrim is killed. Moving on, back in the Wave Rider, Kendra accepts Ray's proposal. And she does it right outside of their door where his past lover is. I mean, all his past fiance had to do was peek out of the door and look at them kissing, and his whole timeline would have been shot. I mean, they couldn't have that conversation anywhere else. So now with young Legends safe at Rip's mom's house and their loved ones being returned to their timeline, Rip and the Legends are in a race against time to defeat Vandal Savage before the timeline settles and their loved ones have no memory of them. Meaning that the lives that they left behind will be no more. So now it's on to Rip's time. At the peak of Vandal Savage's power to kill Vandal Savage. But will the Legend stop Vandal Savage in time to save Rip's family? I guess we will see next week. Final thoughts? Legends of Tomorrow is 2 for 2 in my book. I had fun last week and I have fun this week. I can't wait for next week. Remember, after this episode, we have 4 more episodes to go. So it'll be interesting as to where they're going to take this because this has season finale written all over it. So what do you think will happen in next week's episode? What do you like about this episode? What did I miss? Let's talk nerdy in the comments below. This review is a little bit different than my normal reviews. But as always, if you like this video, please give this video a like and a share. I make a video every week, so please subscribe so I can see you next time. Bye bye.